What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. I want to thank you all before I start the video. We just hit 1,000 subscribers and that is just awesome. I want to thank you guys for that. And now let's get to today's video. And today I want to talk to you and share with you guys a few things. I have a long list right here, so I want to share with you a few things that I learned from buying cars from Copart. I bought about 6 cars in the past year and a half. For me, for my family, for my friends, something like that. So I learned things the hard way, and I want to share with you guys what I learned, so you don't have to, you don't do the same mistake, and you just avoid it and be safe. So the first thing I have on my list is fees. You want to always be aware of fees. Fees are just ridiculous for non-dealers, for the public people. So there's a seller fees, there's gate fees, there's sales taxes, there's some few other fees. So you want to keep in mind that, let's say I buy a car for $1,000, I win the bid at $1,000, I paid around $1,500 for it. So if you planning to buy a car, you want to keep that in mind. There's a page on Copart's website that tells you how much are the seller fees, and there's a few other fees that you have to keep in mind as well. So just keep that in mind. The fees are high and you're gonna pay much more than the bid that you actually win. And number 2 is Copart is not open to the public to bid in some states. So there's also a page on Copart.com you can go check out. There's a map that you can see which states are allowed for the public to bid and which states are not. Luckily here in Arizona, it's open for the public to bid and buy cars from Copart. And I have also, if you have time, it needs pretty much a day to go and do a pre-inspect on the car that you plan on buying. Myself, I don't risk that much money. Pretty much all the cars that I bought under $2,000, $2,000 to $2,500, let's say. So I'm not risking that much money, and I also take a very close look at the pictures. So if you can go pre-inspect the car that you want to buy, that's good. Do that if you have time. If you don't, like me, I just sit there for like good 15 minutes. I look at the pictures. There's a very important HD. You can click HD at the bottom left corner on the photos, so it becomes high resolution, so you can zoom in and look at the pictures. I know that's not enough for some people, but for me it worked out. And when you don't risk that much money, you should be safe. Worst case, there's something wrong with the car, you're not risking like 5, 6, 10 grand in that car. So next, it might say runs and drives, but according to Copart, that's just it means they put it in drive, it moves forward. They put it in reverse, it moves backward. So you might not know if the alternator is out, so there's no charge. The charging system is not charging, so you can actually drive it far. And maybe the transmission, something wrong with the transmission, and it doesn't go out of first gear or something like that. So you want to keep in mind that runs and drive doesn't mean that it drives good, it just means that it moves. And number 4, in my opinion, after my experience with Copart, they're very trustworthy and reliable company to buy cars from, and you get really good deals sometimes. But for salvage cars, in my opinion, there's a percentage for the insurance companies. So if let's say someone wrecks their car and they claim on the insurance company, so the insurance company salvage the car in case of, if the cost of the repair is certain percentage from what's the car value is, they just salvage the car. So if you're going to buy a more expensive vehicles, let's say newer ones with a value of 10 grand, so there's really major damage happened to the vehicle, so they salvaged it. So if you're not mechanically inclined, or you're not a body shop guy, or you're not a mechanic or something like that, you're just a DIYer at home, you do your own work, and you fix your own cars yourself, like as a hobby. So I don't recommend you buying a more expensive vehicle. So myself, I buy cheaper cars, cheaper vehicles. I just fix them in my own driveway and I'm good to go. But if the car gets more expensive and they salvaged it, that means that the damage is really extensive and you want to stay away from that unless you really know what you're doing. Okay, number 5, the battery. In 90% of the cases, like all the cars I bought in the past, only one of them that started without without us having to jump it. So they sit for a month, for 20 days, 4 months, for extended period of time. So you really want to take your own jumper, or after they started it for you, try not to turn it off, because I learned that really the hard way. I turned one of the cars, I was going back home and I drove it drove fine, but the oil light was on. So I tried to I went to the store and turned it off, and then it took me 2.5 hours to go back home and grab jumper cables and stuff like that and go back. So I learned that the hard way. Just try not to turn the car off after you drive it. If it drives fine, try to turn it off at a safe point where you can work on it or jump it or whatever. So okay, and the final tip I have for you guys is take some good basic tools with you. Myself, now I take some wrenches, some sockets, screwdrivers, and most importantly a voltmeter. So I just check the charging system, because I don't want to be stranded on the side of the road. Luckily, in all the cars I bought, I drove all of them home except one I had to tow because the alternator was out and it needed it just needed to be towed. So take these simple tools with you, and you can check the charging system, just tighten a hose, something like that. Do simple stuff. If it needs a tow, then it needs a tow. But if you can do something to help yourself, save yourself some money, and just drive it home, that would be really nice. I don't want to make this video too long for you guys. I don't really like talking, and I like videos that I do things in it. But this, I thought, really important things to share with you, because if you're planning to buy a car from Copart, I just really thought that what I learned the hard way, I can just share it with you, and you guys should be good to go. So once again, I want to thank you all for the 1,000 subscribers. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Please subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you.